Once we do our little presentation that Mr. Torres is going to do, I'm going to have you guys line up, right? And what I'm going to do is, for Christmas, Mr. Torres is going to give everybody a copy of his new book. And I'm going to sign it for you if we have time, and you're going to take a copy of the book. And what I want you to do with this book is, I want you to take it home, and I want you to use it as a life reference. It talks about when Mr. Torres was in college, when I was getting my master's degree in education, everything that I went through, my struggles, what's going to college about, why it's important. I also have my grades in here, my experiences when I went through there. So maybe you guys are thinking about in the future going to college, you can use my book as a reference. You can find it on Amazon. It has worldwide distribution. It's all over the place. But you're lucky today because you're all going to get a free copy. Okay? So all I ask of you is just to pay attention. Okay? Before I get started, what's my name again?
Mr. Torres.
Good. Okay, so everybody has a sheet, right?
Yes.
Okay. What we're going to do is, we're going to go over it for 2 minutes real quick. Okay? So can everybody open up the first bit? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Just in case you're wondering what this picture is, right? Mr. Torres is also a hip-hop artist. I do Spanish hip-hop. And this is the picture of my new single called Sabor Latino, Mi Padre, which is Sabor Latino, my father. Sabor Latino is a hip-hop name that I use. In Spanish, it's Sabor Latino. In English, it's Latin flavor. Just in case you guys like Spanish hip-hop, too. That's my new single, Mi Padre. That's why I put it here also, for a picture of inspiration for you guys as well. Okay? So, let's open up the page. Today, we're going to talk about, when everybody's ready. Good. Today we're going to talk about the value of a college education or the value of education, period. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to be the only one speaking. What I'm going to do is, as we go along, if you have any questions, you can ask. What I'm going to do is also, when I ask a question, there's 3 small topics that we're going to talk about. I also expect you guys to have a question, or if I have a question, I'll ask. Okay? So, the 3 things we're going to cover is the value of college education. We're going to talk about why education is important. And I want to get you guys' point of view on that. We're going to talk about never giving up on your dreams. Okay? Whatever it is, whether you want to be a teacher when you grow up, whether you want to be a counselor, whether you want to be a doctor, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about you can become anything you want to be in life if you work hard. And that means whatever you want to do, it's possible. Right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So maybe we'll spend 15 minutes on each topic, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And then, like I said, at the end, we'll sit down, I'm going to sign you guys some copies of the book, and you're going to be able to take the book home. Okay? So, why is education important? Anybody want to start out helping me why you think education is important? What's your name? Jameer, go ahead. Why, Jameer, why do you think education is important? And when I say education, I mean school in general, but specifically college we'll talk about. Go ahead.
Because so that way when we get a job, they'll ask us for our resume or our report cards. Like, so that way you get that job, or if like you're having trouble with it, you can come to anybody.
Good, good. But why else do you think education is very important? And then I'm going to help you answer the question. But I want you to give me another answer. Why else do you think it's very important? No, that's fine. Can we say because of the diploma, for number 1, right? Can we say education is important because of the knowledge, right? Can we say education is important so when we grow up, we can get a good job, right? Can we say when we get education, we can help other students and other kids, right? What do you think? Why do you think education is important? You raise your hand? Okay. All right. So, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Why do you think education is important? And what's your name?
Jordan.
Go ahead, Jordan.
So.
Speak up, Jordan, so we can all hear you. You want to stand up? Okay, go ahead.
So like we can get farther in our life. So if you want to become something, then we're gonna have to like fill out applications, like he said. And like if we're getting like a paycheck or something, and we don't know like how much money we're supposed to get.
Right.
And then they like try to break it down to you, but you don't understand. So then it's gonna come in handy for.
It's going to come in handy, right? So it's not only going to come in handy in whatever you're doing now, but it can also come in handy in the future, right? Good. I'm gonna share something with you guys because I think it's very important. And the reason why is another reason why I decided to come today, right? Not only to talk, but Mr. Torres is very into statistics. I like to do a lot of reading. I like to get a lot of answers. And one of the things that I think I shared with Mr. Malcolm before I came in, I might be wrong, but I think I did, where we talked about, and I want you guys to pay attention to this, at a young age, right? The people that do the statistics for the youth in life, right? They are saying that whatever area code that we come from, it depends on our future and how far we're going to go in life. Does anybody have an idea what does that mean? The area code you live in determines how you're going to end up somewhat, right? Because everything is not 100% correct, but statistics don't lie. Numbers don't lie, right? Of how far you're going to go in the future. Does anybody have an idea? Because I'm going to get into that. Why do you think that where you come from, your area code, depends on how far you might go in the future? What is your name? Jeremiah.
Like the area is bad where you live at.
Right.
People might look at you like a bad person and think you might not get nowhere in life.
Good answer. Anybody else?
Environment you live
The environment you live in. Anybody else want to share? Why are they saying that the area code that we come from or where we're born at is going to determine where we're going in the future?
So like, if you're little and then like you're being around like bad people and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then it determines how. I mean, it's a predicament of how you're gonna be when you grow up. Because you could be around bad people and still and turn out to be really good.
I love it. I love it. Did you have to say something? I see you wanted to say something? No? Okay. Let me explain a little brief. Are you paying attention back there? Because I see you turn sideways. Can you face me? Thank you. The reason they're saying that is because depending on your area code, and you guys answer some of the questions, is saying that depending on the area code you come from is where the services from the government funding comes from for programs in your community. So what does that mean? If you're coming from a bad neighborhood, like you said, like Jemiah, right? Jemiah? You said? Jemiah said, right? If you're coming from a bad neighborhood, usually in those neighborhoods, and it's sorry to say, we are lacking funds, right? So with that being said, if we're lacking funds, what does that mean? That some of the recreation programs don't exist, like in other neighborhoods, right? So, with all this being said, what is Mr. Torres trying to say? So we know that there's no recreation programs in certain neighborhoods because of the area code we're saying. And we have it here, right? Because in this area code, we're fortunate that we have a program here that you can come on Saturdays, right? What does that mean? That we have to take advantage of it, right? Go ahead.
Because they're helping us out to make sure we don't turn out.
So if there's programs in our community, statistically, right, to deal with our issues that we like to play basketball, some of us come from broken homes, right, and not to sound biased, it's just a reality of life, right? Some of us don't have our dads in our life, and this is what they're saying, that some of us that come from these neighborhoods, right, or these conditions, right, we're going to have a less chance to succeed in life. And if you sit back and you think about it, I'm a parent. I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this real? Right? But the reality is that it is real. So this is another reason why Mr. Torres came here. Because I really want you to understand the value of you being here with Mr. Malcolm, the mentors, the tutors, and taking advantage of this program. Right? Because this is going to give you a better chance to be more successful in life. Right? You're going to have people like Mr. Torres that's going to come here and speak to you. You're going to have your mentors that you're going to be listening to. You're going to have all kinds of role models in your life while you're in this community to try to help you to be successful in life. And this is why I share this information with you, because I really want you to understand that just because you come from South Jamaica, Queens, right, doesn't mean that you can't be successful in life. These streets that you guys are growing up in right now, Mr. Torres walk all the streets, because I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, South Jamaica, Queens too, right? went to Jamaica High School. At that time, it was probably one of the worst high schools at my time. People getting beat up, people getting robbed, people getting all kinds of things. Because again, it depends on the neighborhoods that we come from, right? But you can use me as an example that even though we come from these places, and we take advantage of the resources that we have, people like Mr. Malcolm, your mentors, myself, your teachers, your parents, and anything else, you'll have a chance to be successful in life, right? And when I say success, don't get it confused. I'm not talking about being rich, right? Because not all of us are going to have a chance to be rich in life. Success meaning you have a balance in your life, right? You have your parents, you have your brother, you have your mentors, you have your education, right? You have a direction in life where a lot of these kids that we work with, right? Me and Mr. Malcolm Moore, just being in the community, we see that we're lacking these things. And me being an older guy in the neighborhood, right? You know, it's my responsibility for whatever that I learned to be able to pass it on to you guys and be like, you know what? I want to be like Mr. Torres. I want to write my own book. I want to be like Mr. Malcolm Moore, be a director one day, right? But guess where does it start? Does anybody know where it starts? Where? That's in the future. But unfortunately, guess where it starts? Where? Pre-K and everything else. But why are we here today? Where does it start? Here. Here. Right? Because you already have your parents, you already have whatever else is going on in your house. You already have that kind of support. But a lot of it, from Mr. Torres' research, it says that a lot of these communities, centers, play a big part in your development to be a productive member of society in the future. Right? So whoever's working these community centers has a big responsibility to make sure that when you grow up, you have a better chance of making it, especially why? Because they say that when we come from these neighborhoods, there's a less chance of us to be successful. Right? And that's why Mr. Malcolm Moore dedicates his Saturdays to you guys, because he knows that. That's why in this cold weather, I decided to come out, and you know what? I had other things to do, but I thought this was more important for me to do, because I know the necessity of how important this is. When Mr. Torres was growing up, like I told Mr. Malcolm Moore, a lot of the times I spent it out on the Big Apple games. Couldn't wait to Saturdays to be with my mentor. Couldn't wait to Saturdays to go on a trip. Couldn't wait on Saturdays to have my tutor help me do my homework, because I knew how much this meant to me. And I know as you growing up, this means a lot to you. You may be like, oh, I'm just going to go to the center on Saturday. But in reality, this really means a lot to be here. And I want to say thank you for coming, and I want to say continue to participate in this, because these kind of programs are going to really help you, right? To add to that, I want to say there's going to be times where you're probably going to feel like you're not good enough, right? There's going to be times where you feel like I'm tired. There's going to be times where you're going to say, you know what, Mr. Torres, I don't care what you got to say, it's cold outside, I'm not coming. But guess what? You got to come. Guess what? You got to continue to try to succeed, and you got to continue to try to work on anything that you want to do in life. But the most important thing is your education. Because without an education, I know you guys follow a lot of rap music and a lot of all these images that you see online and everything else like that. And I can respect it because they are somewhat role models. But at the end of the day, if you don't got your education, your less chances of succeeding and being from these neighborhoods is going to be 4 or 5 times as hard for you to make it. And as your young men keep growing up, and I know you see it because a lot of you are very smart. I can just tell you guys are smart. You see what's going on in our communities, right? What's going on in our communities? I'm sorry?
There's homeless people.
Homeless people? What else is going on in our communities? One at a time.
Homeless people don't get food.
A lot of homeless people don't get food, right? And look how young you are, and you already seen these things. What else? What?
Being killed.
People being killed, right? Unfortunately, right? And that's a sad thing when you're a young person and you're looking at that at such a young age, right? What else?
Pollution is starting to get bigger and bigger every day.
Okay, that's part of it, right? Do we see a lot of smoking?
Yes.
Right? Do we see a lot of people using marijuana?
Yes.
Right? I don't mean to get off the topic, but when we talk about what we're talking about right now, it all has to do with your environment and the things that you see every single day. Right? I'll get you in a second, right? So if I talk about marijuana, It's things that is going on in our neighborhoods, right? Which is part of our education, right? Education is not always learning in class. You're also learning from your older adults, right? Your role models. You're also learning what's going on with the thugs in the street and everything that's going on in your neighborhood. Do we want to be like them?
No.
I can't hear you.
No.
Do we want to be like them?
No.
I can't hear you. And when I say we don't want to be like them, why do Mr. Torres says that? Anybody can answer? Yes?
Because we want to be successful.
Because we want to be successful. We don't want to be like them and end up getting in trouble. Right? Go ahead.
And you want to learn from because you want to have to, and plus you're not going to get rid of people all the times.
Exactly. And I want you to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And also for like killing people
Mm-hmm.
go to jail for that.
Exactly. Do we want to be in jail wasting our life in it?
No.
Right? I'm sure all of us in our families have one member that probably went the wrong way in life. Not to say it in a bad way, right? Because nobody's perfect, right? But the thing with Mr. Torres is, what can we learn from everything that's going on in our circle? Right? To be better, to be good, right? Go ahead.
To do the opposite.
To do the opposite. Did anybody hear what he just said? To do the opposite. Anybody else? I see hands. Nobody else? Okay. So, before we move on, these little couple of topics that we talked about, what do you guys think about what Mr. Torres is saying? Go ahead. Don't be shy, guys. I don't want him to have talk all the time. I want everybody to participate. At least one person to say something before the day is over. Because I want everybody to get involved. Let me just say something real quick. When we all here together, right? Not only are we friends, but we also are family, right? Because we could be doing other things on a Saturday in this cold weather, but where are we now? Here together. And through here, what are we learning? How to interact with each other, how to respect each other, how to understand our culture, right? How to understand who we are as individuals, and etc., right? Go ahead.
And also be successful.
And how to be successful, right? Go ahead.
And like, in the future when we be older, we set a better example for the younger kids.
Did everybody hear what he just said? When we get older, we're going to be a better example for the other kids growing up. Because guess what? We're only going to be young for a certain amount of time, right? After a while, we're going to grow up, and one day we're going to probably want to have our own family, right? Are we going to let our kids be strolling around in the neighborhood and doing bad things in our community? No. Are we going to let them go hang out and join gangs and smoke marijuana in the corner? Because you got to remember, whatever they're doing is a reflection of us, right? So if we're parents and we see our kids smoking, hanging out, and smoking marijuana and joining gangs, how are people going to look at us in the community? Isn't that Mr. Torres' son over there? He's over there preaching in all these community centers and doing books and all this and that, and his son is doing that. No, that's not the right message that we want to send out. So as young, we want to learn that we're going to be somebody in life, we're going to be successful, and one point, we're going to be productive members of our society and our community. Okay? Let's move on to topic number 2. Never give up on your dreams. What is Mr. Torres trying to say about that? Okay.
Say if you want to be something when you grow up, but you're not good enough to be that thing,
Mm-hmm.
then you would just give up and say that I'm not doing it anymore.
Exactly. Right. Anybody else?
Because I was going to like when you want to do something,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the song of that person.
Good.
And what's the question again?
Never give up on your dreams. What is Mr. Torres trying to say? Go ahead.
Keep persevering.
Keep persevering, right? Which means what? When times get hard, we have to try. When mom gets on our nerves and says, you know what, you're going to go to bed at 10 o'clock tonight, and I don't care what you have to say, what do? We got to know. We got to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night because mom wants to help us out in our mission. Right? Go ahead. Say yes, no. Right? What's your name back there? Adrian. What do you think about Mrs. Torres is saying? Because you know what, I don't want to put you in the spot, but I want everybody to participate here today. Because moving forward, when I'm not here, or Mr. Malcolm not here, whoever's gonna be here, we want you guys to participate and get involved of what we're doing, right? Because this is our own little family here, right? So if he's not participating, you guys can tell him we want you guys to participate, because guess what? We're a team. We are a team while we're here.